Please take your seats. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable ministers and guests, thank you for joining us here today at only the second ever joint meeting of the High-Level Policy Dialogue on Women and the Economy and the Small and Medium Enterprises Ministers. My name is Marisa Lago, and I have the honor and pleasure of serving as the Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade at the U.S. Department of Commerce. It's a treat to be co-chairing this meeting with Ambassador Geeta Rao-Gupta, who is Ambassador for Global Women's Issues at the U.S. Department of State. Ambassador Rao-Gupta, thank you for your leadership, both in your current role, but also throughout your storied career. Huge thanks also to the leadership of the City of Seattle and the Seattle Host Committee for hosting APEC senior official meetings over the past weeks. This beautiful city on Puget Sound is the perfect setting for our meetings, and not just because of the many innovative global companies that are based here. The City of Seattle, with its diverse history and long-standing links to APEC, embodies our APEC host year priorities: interconnected, innovative, inclusive. I am a huge fan of the Women in the Economy Forum, as I was serving in the U.S. government at the Department of the Treasury when former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton convened the first Women in the Economy Forum. I could wax lyrical about the substantive milestones that the forum has achieved in the intervening years, but I'll leave that to Ambassador Rao-Gupta. So, in today's session, I'm excited to explore the opportunities that lie at the intersection of women's economic empowerment and the growth of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. MSMEs are the backbone of our APEC economies, accounting for more than 90% of all businesses and employing more than half the workforce across APEC economies. Entrepreneurship and small business ownership can provide an avenue to economic security and financial independence for women, while simultaneously providing jobs and local community development. APEC can empower women-owned MSMEs by helping them overcome barriers such as inadequate access to finance, lack of awareness of procurement systems, and fewer networks and role models, each of which prevent women entrepreneurs from fully realizing the opportunities offered by global value chains. Let me give you just one example. Research shows that inclusive procurement programs enhance the reputation of both companies and governments and can have a positive impact on profitability, resilience, and return on investment. Yet today, less than 1% of spending by large corporations on suppliers is earned by women-owned businesses. Now, can we be ambitious and aim to double this percentage? And I'd suggest that we even be audacious and think about quintupling this percentage. In APEC, we have a mechanism for reaching and exceeding this audacious goal. Earlier this week, more than 50 delegates, including women entrepreneurs, corporate procurement officials, and government policymakers, identified gaps in support for sourcing from women entrepreneurs. This same group also highlighted best practices among our APEC member economies. In another program that was held earlier this week, we convened 82 stakeholders and heard about empowering women entrepreneurs in cross-border e-commerce. Those of us here today know that e-commerce is a vital tool for businesses to reach customers. Yet we see that in many APEC economies, women are very significantly underrepresented. This disparity absolutely demands that we work together to understand the unique obstacles that women face in the digital economy. It's even more of an imperative that we find solutions to increase women entrepreneurs' participation in e-commerce. I urge every single one of us to double down on both our professional and our personal commitment to help women and girls achieve their entrepreneurial dreams. And with that, I'm delighted to hand over the proceedings to Ambassador Rao Gupta.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, let me join Under-Secretary Lago in welcoming you all to the 2023 High-Level Policy Dialogue on Women and the Economy, Small Medium Enterprise Ministerial Meeting, joint session at the 2023 Women and Economy Forum. That was a mouthful. Before I begin, I want to extend a gracious thank you to the City of Seattle on behalf of the U.S. Department of State for hosting this wonderful Women in the Economy Forum. We are gathered here today to celebrate women-owned, led, and managed small businesses in the APEC region under the goals of the APEC Putrajaya Vision 2040 and Aotearoa Plan of Action and the La Serena Roadmap. Today's discussion is an important and timely one. There remains so much untapped potential for women business owners. This is why one of the 4 themes of the Women in the Economy Forum is equity and equality in global value chains. At today's joint session, we will highlight 2 cross-fora collaboration workshops, the APEC Women-Owned Businesses in Global Value Chains and Advancing Women in Cross-Border E-Commerce. We will draw on the Gender Climate Nexus for the Women Innovators and Climate Change 3rd session. Women's economic security is a moral imperative and it is smart business. Women's economic security is central to the promotion and establishment of women's human rights and gender equality. But to achieve women's economic security, our work cannot start and end with just women. We must provide quality, inclusive, and safe education for girls in all their diversity. This is in addition to training, leadership, and skills-building opportunities for more equitable and inclusive economic growth. We believe that if every woman can access employment in every economic sector, including traditionally male-dominated sectors such as STEM, women and girls will have more opportunities to attain the same levels of success as men. It is critical for women to access employment that is in line with international labor standards and free from gender-based violence, including harassment, both online and offline. Furthermore, if women obtain adequate training, support, and opportunities for advancement, then women and girls globally will achieve economic competitiveness through well-paying, quality jobs and decent and dignified work, which is the goal we're all shooting for. I would like to conclude by highlighting the unwavering commitment of President Biden in advancing gender equity and equality. This is a matter of human rights, justice, and fairness. It is also a U.S. strategic, domestic, and foreign policy priority that promotes economic growth. As we turn towards our opening this joint session, we do ask that you keep interventions to no more than 3 minutes. I would like now to turn to the APEC Executive Director, Dr. Rebecca Fatima Santa Maria.
Thank you, Ambassador at Large Geeta Rao Gupta, Under-Secretary Ms. Marisa Lago, Ministers, Chairs of the SME Working Group and the PPWE Working Group. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to be here at this joint meeting of the High-Level Policy Dialogue on Women and the Economy and Small and Medium Enterprises Ministers. As you said, Ambassador at Large, it is a mouthful. But It is an important example of cross-border collaboration in APEC. Congratulations to the U.S. team for making this happen. What we are doing here in Seattle is just as groundbreaking as what was done in San Francisco in 2011 when U.S. last hosted APEC. It was in 2011 that APEC began in earnest the process of gender mainstreaming with the establishment of the Policy Partnership of Women and the Economy and the Women and Economy Forum. And here in Seattle, we are translating into action the call for greater collaboration among working groups in APEC with common interests. In this case, dealing with the areas of work that impact women MSMEs. There are many areas of convergence between the work of the PPWE and the SMEWG. The La Serena Roadmap for Women and Inclusive Growth calls for us to promote and facilitate cooperation in the public and private sectors to help ensure that women, including women of diverse backgrounds and women-led MSMEs, can access capital and assets in both local and international markets and enhance women-owned and women-led MSMEs' ability to participate in global value chains. Likewise, the SMEWG strategic plan for 2021 to 2024 includes gender in its 5 priority areas of entrepreneurship, innovation and startup of SMEs, access to international markets and global value chains, inclusive capability development towards digitalization, access to finance and alternative financial solutions, and government-to-business interactions. The APEC Policy Support Unit recently presented a report on challenges facing women-owned business, and this report highlights the intersection between our work on MSMEs and women's economic empowerment. One of the findings was that while access to finance is a challenge for SMEs in general, male-owned MSMEs have better access to finance than women-owned MSMEs. This then has a direct impact on the growth of women-owned SMEs. At the Secretariat, we are mindful of the need to ensure cross-border collaboration and to build on areas of intersection, convergence, and complementarity among our working groups, businesses, especially through our private sector partner, the APEC Business Advisory Council, as well as other regional and international organizations, so as to leverage on the expertise, experience, and best practices for relevant and impactful policy making. This is the context of our meeting today, and I thank you all for getting us started here. Thank the U.S. team for getting us started in this formalization of collaboration between the SME Working Group and the PPWE. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rebecca.
We will now have a brief intermission for press to exit the room.